How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Patty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. And before we get into today's video, real quick, if you could help your boy out, couple of videos ago, we basically posted right as YouTube went down for an hour. And I tried to unlist the video once I realized that the entire site was down. I completely thought that like I got banned or something real fast. But when the site came back up and I made the video public, it thought that it had been live for an hour and had 0 views. And that has tanked some of my analytics. When you're a smaller channel, it is super easy for YouTube analytics to impact you in huge ways, and there's about a million ways that it can hem you up. So if you could do your boy a real big positive, leave a comment, leave a like, that stuff really drives engagement and helps re-trick the algorithm that people weren't so mad at me that they just didn't watch my new video for an hour. As small as that may sound to some of you that don't know a lot about YouTube, it's pretty bad. So if you could do your boy a solid, I would really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So this is one of the changes that came in 1.1 that was super subtle. I didn't even notice where they mentioned that this was happening, and they might not have actually put it in the patch notes. But our little book up here works a little bit differently on the bosses tab now. So before, it used to have a drop down that was basically just Mondstadt and Leeway. And now it's a little bit changed up. So it's got common enemies, elite enemies, and then boss enemies. This also helps clear up some of the stuff for like your weekly challenges for the battle pass, where previously it basically just said you needed to kill 10 elite enemies a week, but it didn't really specify what those were. So now it reads kill 10 boss enemies a week, and they have their own special tab. You know exactly which ones are going to count towards that boss progression. So this is cool. These guys cost 40 resonant and everything. That's a nice big chunky amount. And really, these you should only be farming for characters that you're actively working on ascending. Like, I know I need to go hit this boy a few times, and the Pyro one a couple of times, because I'm about to hit AR40, and I'm going to need to take Razor and Klee up. So I need to start working in a little bit more farming of those guys. But that isn't what I want to talk about today. So, essentially, the reason that I want to call this a death note is because everybody in it needs to die. Like, they're gonna die. You just need to kill everyone that shows up in this book. And one of my favorite things about them adding things like the common enemies is it makes it a lot easier to farm some of the resources that you really need for your common ascensions and everything. So, like, these scrolls are one of the most valuable common things that you can grind out. They are used in so many places, and you just need so many. So previously, the way that I would try and farm a decent number of these is I was going through and always trying to chase down, these guys, essentially, because these guys almost always have other hilichurls with them. So that's what my best way of specifically hunting them down and trying to get some more of those scrolls and everything was going straight after this guy or his brother, to be honest. Either one of those was my way of trying to get some more of these. So the fact that they added this stuff in is great. Now a lot of these groups, especially the common ones and some of these elite ones, have essentially a respawn timer. I know for sure the elite ones, because I be farming these boys like crazy, is about 3 hours once you run through them. And that's a pretty short cooldown, relatively speaking. So this is something that I think people, especially all those people that are like me, where they're coming up on, AR40, AR45, you really want to start getting in the habit of coming and trying to farm some of these resources out your book. And the book just makes it so easy now. Like, okay, I want to go hunt down some Samachurls. Where is he at? Okay, he's right over here. Now we just go bully this man and murder the hell out of him. And it's really easy early on to think like, oh no, I've got enough of these just from running around and killing stuff and exploring and everything. And you get a decent amount, and you really won't start feeling it until you're trying to get stuff through, like, the 4th ascension, 5th ascension, really over AR 30 plus, you start feeling it a little bit. And the further you get into it, the more dramatic it gets and the more of these you need. Like, unless you have like 500 of the purple ones of all the common ascensions, you probably need to be farming because everybody's going to be using them. And the fact that we can hunt these much, much smaller packs right now is it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. Alright. Murder these dudes real fast just because, you know, commitment. Excuse me. Gentlemen. Gentlemen. Just throw the bomb off the hill, and that man's dead. And now we got some mats. Not a whole lot, but there's a lot of overlap. So say you go through and you farm... Boop, boop, doop, doop, doop. You farm all the samaturals that they're willing to show you. You might think, like, okay, well, man, can't get any more scrolls now. No, remember that thing I was talking about earlier? Still definitely applies. You can still go through and hunt a bunch of these guys, and they're always going to have some of these other mods or monsters around them. There's a few that might be like you fight 2 of these and they're the only things there, but that's the exception, you know what I mean? 1 out of 10 of these that you're going to go do is going to be something like that. Ruin hunters and ruin guards aren't really good for that. Sometimes they have other stuff around them, sometimes they don't. It's usually not. Fatui agents, you need so many of these. This is probably my personal one that I have to just farm the most because so many of the weapons that I use require it for upgrades. And this is one of the harder ones. So like you aren't really going to get a lot of overlap from anywhere else to be able to get these. So that's kind of needed. You wanna you wanna kind of have an idea of where you have overlap for the materials that you're farming. And there's a somebody put out a Reddit post with a little guide, basically telling you like what characters you're working on, what stuff that you should be farming, and everything. And it gives you the levels for, you know, basically taking them up to max. So you're not, you know, basically instead of worrying about which ones do I need for my next upgrade. You're able to have a wider idea of how many you need and how far you actually are in progressing and farming those. So we might do a video on that guide. We'll see. But, you know, you just gotta appreciate the Death Note now. Those little changes to it, I think, can be really, really impactful for people trying to farm. So we just wanted to do a little spotlight on it. If I get home early enough tonight, I'm going to go ahead and try and do a live stream. If not, we're definitely going to do one tomorrow. There's a bunch of stuff that I need to grind, mostly quests and a few other little things so that we can get up to AR 40 this weekend and be able to start the beginning of the big Ascension material grind. Because I plan on basically not really worrying about artifacts too much until we get up to AR 45. And from the boss monsters that we fight, we'll get some, you know, 4- and 5-star artifacts out of that anyways, just out of their drop chance, so I don't super feel pressured into running domains. So, it's where we're at right now. And yeah, I definitely recommend, you know, for those of you that aren't aware, if you want to know what you're going to need for your next Ascension, you can check it right here. But definitely to keep an eye out for that guide. I'll try to track it down and stick it in the description and everything so that you guys can go and check it out from there. And then you can start using your Death Note to just get all the materials that you need. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut it to the end card. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Oh, wait, I'm going to say all that in a second. Alright, I'm going to be right back. You know, one day we might actually get good at this transition, but until then, I super appreciate your guys' patience while we try to put a little extra polish on the channel. I'm going to try having an intro thing coming up soon. I've had a few different sound stuff that I've been playing with, but for legal reasons, I think we're going to have to go in some different directions. So you'll pretty soon see a actual intro and everything. And then we might try to do some real end card stuff where we're linking and everything to other videos with a little outro music. We'll see. We'll see. But if you'd like to see us keep growing and help support our channel and help us defeat the evil machines, I would super appreciate you subscribing, checking out some of our socials. And yeah, just thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate you guys. And you're going to have to catch your boy on the next one because we're out of here. Deuces.